Good evening. It is a situation parents at a Waterloo elementary school were dreading. The closure of Elizabeth Ziegler over structural concerns will last for at least another 2 weeks. Tonight, some say the school board needs to step up its work to find an alternate place for in-person learning. Let's head over to CTV's Colton Wiens now, standing by outside the school with the latest. And Colton, what have you been hearing today?
Well, Tony, the school was originally closed because a piece of the facade had fallen off the building. Now, the school board originally told parents that they were going to try and update them with a potential return plan by this Friday, but now they're telling parents it will be at least another 2 weeks that the school will be closed.
I have meetings about 60 to 70% of the day.
Sarah Long is preparing for another 2 weeks of scrambling ahead after finding out her two kids that attend Elizabeth Ziegler Public School won't be returning to in-person classes until at least the end of the month.
Stressed if it extends into April. Now we're out of school for, 4, 5, 6 weeks.
The school was closed on March 3rd over concerns about the safety of the building's facade, and the school board says it will remain closed until at least March 28th.
For the conversations I'm having with my management right now is not, don't worry about it, you work from home. It's, you're supposed to be online from 9 to 5 without interruption. So do you need to take a leave of absence for these days? Do you need to use your vacation for these days?
Today, workers could be seen removing material from the building and installing wood above the broken facade. According to the city, the school board has retained a structural engineer and is awaiting the engineer's final report. The board did not make anyone available for an interview today, but in a long statement, Associate Director of Business Services Bill Lemon says in part, specific findings from the testing and evaluations are still being assessed. Adding, as Elizabeth Ziegler Public School has more than 500 students, alternative spaces that supported the needs of students were not immediately available, and a great deal of planning was required to accommodate the student population.
That is the school board just wiping their hands of the problem. We have community centers, we have churches, we have other schools. If there are 20 classes in Elizabeth Ziegler, find 20 rooms. It feels like they didn't try hard enough to come up with a contingency plan here.
The board says it understands the concerns, but it is working tirelessly to return to in-person learning.
I don't feel that anybody is working tirelessly on this situation. I understand these safety concerns happen, and I'm very supportive of the school being closed for safety reasons for however long it takes. However, I think it's a lazy solution to say, now we're going to go to remote learning.
The board has asked families and caregivers to stop by the school to pick up a Chromebook or iPad, which Long adds won't be easy for her kids.
He's 5, so he needs a lot of attention. Leo's in grade 2. I think he'll be able to manage the Chromebook for a certain period of time, but by no means is he going to be able to sit there from 9 to 3 on a Chromebook.
Now, Long isn't the only parent that reached out to us today. At least 4 others weren't available for interviews because they were working, but they also shared that concern with those upcoming 2 weeks following this week. The school board says it is still working on a plan to try and get students back into school as soon as possible. But again, it will be at least another 2 weeks until students have the potential for returning to in-person classes.